What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. The final shape will be introducing a lot of new armor and weapons for players to discover. One of the most interesting weapon sets that this expansion is introducing is the PALEHEART weapons, which all have different expressions and artwork of several of our beloved characters. Today we'll be taking an early look into this new weapon set and identifying the best and strongest weapons to farm for. And now that we have the complete list of perk options, we can identify the best trait combinations that you'll need to keep an eye out for with each of these weapons. There are 8 of these weapons in total, and each of them can be crafted, but you'll have to discover 5 red borders to unlock each of their craftable patterns. The first weapon that we'll be looking at is the No Hesitations. This is a new support frame auto rifle, so as you deal damage to enemies, you'll build up a restorative charge, and this can be used on allies by hip firing. That's going to be a great benefit to use in Crucible or in in-game content. This weapon is built much like adaptive framed auto rifles, like the Gnawing Hunger, so it's going to be pretty snappy. It'll have great aim assist and pretty good range. Just like all the other PALEHEART weapons, this will include the Dealer's Choice origin trait. So when you defeat enemies, you gain a small amount of bonus super energy, and with multiple PALEHEART weapons equipped, that energy gain will be more significant. When it comes to its third column traits, this weapon will offer Subsistence, Ensemble, Grave Robber, Demolitionist, Overflow, and 2 new perks called Strategist and Physic. Strategist generates bonus class ability energy on each final blow, and after activating your class ability, this weapon will have improved handling. This feels much more like a Crucible perk than it does a PVE perk, but I do still like that extra class ability energy. The Physics perk will grant you and nearby allies with Restoration whenever you rapidly heal allies. This will easily play off of the No Hesitation support frame to be able to provide a constant source of health regeneration for both you and nearby allies. But unfortunately, it won't do any good in solo activities. Demolitionist and Grave Robber are great utility perks to be able to keep your grenade and melee energies recharged, but I think the use of Subsistence or Overflow will be much better options when it comes to PvE. Subsistence returns ammo after each final blow, and Overflow stacks on bonus rounds when collecting ammo, providing up to 120% of the magazine's capacity, which could put you at more than 90 rounds to the mag. In its fourth column, the No Hesitation will offer Incandescent, Attrition Orbs, Frenzy, Disruption Break, Desperate Measures, Surrounded, and a new perk called Circle of Life. And this is another perk that will work hand in hand with the No Hesitation support frame. Healing allies grants this weapon increased damage. It's unclear how much of a bonus this will be, but I would wager that it'll be between 15% and maybe 20%. I think this offers one of the best support functions, especially when used along with Physic, because as long as you're healing allies, you're giving yourself a constant damage bonus. When it comes to general and solo gameplay and ad clear situations, I think Incandescent is going to be the best option. I do like the bonus orbs that will get generated off of the attrition orbs, but I think this weapon will perform the best with either Incandescent or Circle of Life. The next weapon that we'll be looking into is the Bold Endings Stasis Hand Cannon. This is built much like the Warden's Law. It's a heavy burst hand cannon that shoots out a 2-round burst, so it naturally has a lot of impact, pretty decent range, and great aim assist. But these weapons do tend to suffer in responsiveness, so they won't be nearly as snappy as those 140 RPM hand cannons. Just like the No Hesitation, this weapon has 7 available traits in both its third and fourth column, which is something most of these weapons have in common. In its third column, we have Attrition Orbs, Strategist, Rapid Hits, Loose Change, Headstone, which is an interesting perk to find in the third column. We've also got Air Trigger and To the Pain. To the Pain increases this weapon's handling and its aim assist as you take damage. The more damage you take, the better this perk will perform. and I could already see this becoming a dominating trait to use while in the Crucible. Attrition Orbs and Headstone are the two big standouts when it comes to PvE. I do like the utility and bonus stability that Strategists will provide, so this might be a really solid trait to use as well. But let's take a look at what the fourth column offers. We've got Desperate Measures, Dragonfly, Moving Target, which would be fun to use in the Crucible. We've also got Collective Action, Golden Tricorn, Eye of the Storm, and Demolitionist. Collective Action and Golden Tricorn stand out as the better damage perks. I like Demolitionist, but I don't like it as much in the fourth column. With Headstone in the third column, Dragonfly does make a very interesting option, as this will create an elemental explosion that's going to instantly shatter those Headstone crystals. So definitely a combination to be on the lookout for. Moving on, we have the Someday Kinetic Shotgun, a precision-framed shotgun that has incredible base stats. It's got great range, great impact, and it even has plus 70 aim assist to make hitting those precision shots a lot easier. I don't see this becoming a big PvE threat. It's got some good perk options, but I don't see it pushing the Heritage or the Swordbreaker to the side. But I do think that this would have some solid performance within the Crucible. In its third column, the Someday will come with Threat Detector, Loose Change, Lead from Gold, Elemental Capacitor, Dual Loader, Strategist, and another new perk called Threat Remover. Dealing damage increases your reload speed, handling, and stability, which will be great for a precision shotgun. Outside of Threat Detector, the only perk that I like here for PvE is Lead from Gold and Strategist. In the fourth column, we have Cascade Point, which will increase this weapon's rate of fire, but keep in mind that there's no third column perks that are going to overflow the magazine. We've got Swashbuckler, Opening Shot, Collective Action, Barrel Constrictor, Vorpal, and Recombination. We've got some pretty solid PvE traits here, with Vorpal, Collective Action, and Recombination, but Opening Shot is really going to work out well with a lot of those third column traits that might end up making this an incredible option in Crucible. Up next, we have the Axial Lucana. It's a solar fusion rifle, and it's precision framed, so it's built like the Deliverance, but it looks way better, and it has a much better lineup of weapon traits. In its third column, it'll offer Keep Away, Reconstruction, Threat Detector, Firmly Planted, Eye of the Storm, Demolitionist, and Cornered. Cornered is going to be an interesting addition here, giving us faster charge time whenever we're surrounded, but it's Reconstruction that stands out the most. Demolitionist is also a nice utility perk, but Reconstruction will double down on our magazine capacity, giving us a minimum of 12 to the mag. And then we have some great fourth column traits. We have Vorpal, Frenzy, Surrounded, Kickstart, Controlled Burst, Incandescent, and Desperate Measures. That's a ton of great damage perks. Incandescent would be perfect towards ad clear and general gameplay, but if you're looking for something to put up a lot of DPS, you'll want to go with Controlled Burst or Vorpal. Over the last few seasons, we've seen a lot of powerful fusion rifles enter into the sandbox, and this has all the makings of performing at that same level. Up next, we take a look at the Embraced Identity, a sniper rifle that's built much like the 1000 yard stare. It's got great stats straight down the board, and it should be pretty snappy and easy to use. And based on the available options in the third and fourth columns, this will be a weapon to be on the lookout for. It's got some really impressive trait combinations that could see this putting up a lot of damage against a lot of raid and dungeon bosses, but there's other combinations that would see this excelling in the Crucible. In its third column, we have Attrition Orbs, Demolitionist, and Permeability, which are all pretty good utility perks. But then we also have Destabilizing Rounds, which could be a very fun perk to play with. We also have Rewind Rounds and Reconstruction, which would maximize that magazine, helping us deal out maximum damage. We also have Opening Shot, making this a dead ringer for the Crucible. When we move over to its fourth column, we have High Ground, Moving Target, Box Breathing, Elemental Capacitor, Fourth Times the Charm, Redirection, and Precision Instrument. Combining 4th times the charm and rewind rounds could see us dumping our entire reserves without ever having to reload, which could render out to be some nice damage. But box breathing and precision instrument would both be able to capitalize on having reconstruction or rewind rounds, and they would greatly increase our damage potential. But then in terms of crucible, moving target with opening shot is going to be absolutely amazing. Alright, we've got 3 more weapons to talk about, and next up we have the Pro Memoria. It's a heavy machine gun, and I'm already a fan of this one. It's a 600 RPM aggressive framed strand machine gun. It's not going to hit as hard as the circular logic, but it'll be much faster, and that should result in some nice gameplay. In the Pro Memoria's 3rd column, we have some really nice options. We have hatchlings, which will pair up great on a strand or prismatic build. We've also got demolitionist, attrition orbs, strategist, and into the pain, which would all be great utility perks. But reconstruction and envious assassin are the 2 big standouts here, and they've sort of become a benchmark for any top tier heavy machine gun. In the 4th column, we got a ton of great damage perks. We've got collective action, desperate measures, and frenzy. But the 2 that I think will be the most beneficial will be either target lock or bait and switch. I think target lock will really push this weapon's damage numbers, but bait and switch will be great if you're someone who likes to rotate through all of your weapons during damage phases. We also get Dragonfly in the 4th column, which would really give this some powerful ad clear capability when combined with hatchlings. So there's a couple of really strong combinations that you'll need to keep an eye out for. Up next, we take a look at the False Idol's Solar Vortex Sword. Swords will be getting some special treatment with the new artifact, and the False Idols could very well become a strong option. In its 3rd column, the False Idols will offer options of Strategist, Attrition Orbs, Wellspring, Unrelenting, Duelist Trance, Incandescent, and Relentless Strike. We've got some good options here. Incandescent would be great when taking on big groups of enemies. Duelist Trance will help charge our heavy attacks faster, and Relentless Strike would generate ammo for us. Having Attrition Orbs is another interesting option, as you'd be able to easily keep weapon surge mods active. The 4th column is where things get really interesting, because we have Chain Reaction, which would pair up nicely with Incandescent. We also have several damage perks, including Vorpal, Counterattack, Collective Action, One for All, Surrounded, and Bait and Switch. There's some seriously awesome choices here. With sustained damage in mind, Vorpal would be a really good option. But if you can swing rotating through your loadout, then Bait and Switch could really bump up that overall damage. In the end, we've already got a few swords that excel at damage, so it'll be nice to see a combination of Chain Reaction with Incandescent on a Vortex sword. So I'm expecting some big things out of this one. And now we take a look at our last PALEHEART weapon, the Call Rocket Sidearm. This is now the 2nd legendary rocket sidearm, but this one is craftable, and it's strand. This is the one PALEHEART weapon that I'm most excited about getting, and I think everyone should be, because this thing is going to shred. In its 3rd column, we get Demolitionist, Subsistence, Lead from Gold, Slice, and Beacon Rounds, and Stats for All. Damn, what a lineup. Lead from Gold is going to be nice because you'll never run out of ammo. Slice is going to reduce your enemy's damage output by 40%, and that's going to come in handy in more challenging content. Beacon Rounds will give those projectiles tracking, and Subsistence is going to reload the magazine after each final blow. And final blows are going to come pretty easy when you can one-shot nearly any red bar. The reload speed is already pretty good with this weapon, so I feel more inclined towards recommending Slice or Beacon Rounds than I do Demolitionist or Subsistence. In the end, it's really going to be based on your playstyle. If you integrate a lot of ability use in your gameplay, then Demolitionist and Slice will be better options. But if you're a run and gunner, then Beacon Rounds or Subsistence will be a much better fit. In its 4th column, we have even more options that'll make you ponder, as this will come with One for All, Desperate Measures, Adrenaline Junkie, Vorpal, Golden Tricorn, Multi-Kill Clip, and Hatchling. Boy oh boy. Alright, so One for All. It's an easy damage perk to trigger and maintain, and it would work great with subsistence. But Golden Tricorn can be much more effective, especially if you're getting a lot of ability final blows. And for the synergy with Strand and Prismatic builds, the use of hatchlings is going to be incredible. So it might be worth keeping a couple of these bad boys, because this sidearm is stacked. Once these weapons have officially released and we have a good chance to test them out, we'll be following back up with the best possible crafted god rolls. So be sure to stay tuned to the channel for that and all things Destiny. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these new weapons. How do you like their artwork, and which of these will you be farming after the most? Let us know down in the comments below. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed, found it helpful, then be sure to hit the like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated, and both really do help support the channel. If you're a new Light Guardian, just starting your journey, or a battle-hardened veteran, just looking for a new home, then be sure to check out the Discord link in the description below, and join one of the greatest communities in all of Destiny. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.